Hi, this is Sally's Book Club. We've got all the best books covered for you every day. There's this term in global literature called hidden rules that's been popping up in media to describe certain social phenomena. Today we're diving into the very book that coined this concept, Wu Ci's Hidden Rules. The real game in Chinese history, Hidden Rules, is Wu Ci's collection of historical essays. Each article focuses on a theme through historical storytelling. While weaving narratives, the author adds sharp insights that reveal hidden logic behind events.
Reading this book, you'll confront endless absurdities that somehow aren't laughable. The author struggled to name these comedy unspoken social games.
Wu wrestled with phrasing, finally settling on hidden rules to avoid reader confusion. This unacademic term unexpectedly resonated widely, propelling the book to success. Since 2001, Hidden Rules has been reprinted multiple times, appearing on various book lists. Wu Ci, credited with conceptualizing Hidden Rules, was named 2014 Time Knowledge Practitioner for popularizing historical insights. Let's explore three key questions to understand hidden rules, origins, and impact. First, what exactly are hidden rules? Second, who gets affected by hidden rules? Third, why are hidden rules so persistent, like stubborn stains? Finally, we'll discuss how to critically engage with this book, absorbing its wisdom while expanding our perspectives. First question. What's Wu Ci's definition of hidden rules? In the preface, Wu describes hidden rules as unwritten, yet widely accepted codes that function like internal protocols governing real-life operations. He later elaborated this concept in The Law of Bloody Compensation. First, privately acknowledged behavioral constraints. Second, spontaneously formed conventions reducing social friction. Third, violating hidden rules invites retaliation. Fourth, they contradict official doctrines or systems, thus existing covertly. Fifth, these covert mechanisms enable people to obtain extra benefits. Without meeting all five criteria, they're either social jokes or temporary anomalies, not true systemic hidden rules. The conflict with mainstream values and formal systems deserves special attention. What categorizes hidden rules? Those opposing mainstream values rarely become official. Social consensus evolves slowly, while formal systems adapt faster, making rule transformation possible. Ming and Danzam officials, plagued by low salaries during inflation, resorted to systematic embezzlement. Emperor Yongxing centralized allowances to combat corruption, showing hidden rules adaptability. Wu emphasizes this formal and formal system interplay. When formal systems lag severely, hidden rules inevitably emerge. Ancient Chinese bureaucracy's rigid ancestral laws forced flexible, hidden rule creation. Officials routinely Bourbonized hidden rules over official duties for personal gain. Some cases show the reverse pattern. Late Damas rushed modern legal reforms, confused citizens accustomed to traditional practices.
People resorted to self-developed hidden rules amidst legal disorientation.
But this time the bottleneck wasn't the political system. Of course, the author here mainly demonstrates the inevitability of hidden rules through logical reasoning. But how widespread did they actually become? That brings us to the second question. Who gets affected by hidden rules? Generally speaking, three groups are affected: commoners at the bottom, mid-level officials, and the emperor at the top. For commoners, hidden rules represent second-tier fairness. What's second-tier fairness? The author illustrates this with a Tinza dynasty story about post-station fodder collection.
Officially, the government should pay for fodder, but people had to give it free to avoid harassment.
Resisting meant officials would cheat on measurements and extort more money.
Commoners learned to accept this lesser unfairness as preferable to worse alternatives.
The second group, government officials. Their hidden rules mainly involved bribery. County magistrates earned like 1990s laid-off workers, but needed money for networking and family.
With large families to support and social obligations, bribery became survival necessity.
This practice became so entrenched that ministers defied emperors. When Emperor Chongzhen demanded names of bribe takers, official Han Yiliang chose resignation over betrayal. But what about famous honest officials in history? Doesn't that disprove hidden rules' universality? However, the author argues that these honest officials' fates actually demonstrate hidden rules' prevalence among bureaucrats. Take Ming official Hai Rui. He rejected bribes and gray income, reaching deputy minister level equivalent.
Yet, after death, he couldn't afford burial clothes, interred in rammy bark garments. The author laments this tragic end for a lifelong honest official.
Finally, the emperor, both surrounded by hidden rules, and their architect. Emperors established surveillance systems, like Ming's embroidered uniform guard to monitor officials. Emperor Yang created Eastern Depot Intelligence Network, later adding Western Depot for cross-monitoring. Despite liared agencies, eunuchs eventually corrupted these systems for personal gain. Notorious eunuchs like Liu Jin controlled official promotions, earning standing emperor nickname. Wei Zongxian's cult-like following saw officials building temples, worshipping him as 9,000 years majesty. Distrustful emperors eventually micromanaged everything. Danes and princes endured rigorous daily training for future rulership. Emperors themselves became hidden rule, architects often abandoning imperial decorum to collude with officials. Thus, many emperors historically abused power for personal gain, creating gray income through corrupt appointments and special taxes, while maintaining plausible deniability. Emperors thus tacitly permitted officials' misconduct through willful ignorance. Wuxi piercingly observes, bad governance breeds scoundrels. Imperial systems magnify human flaws into national calamities. Given hidden rules' prevalence, why did no one challenge them? This leads to our third question. Why are hidden rules so resilient? Since hidden rules don't benefit all, resistance inevitably emerges. But the costs of opposition outweigh benefits, like evil outsmarting virtue. Over time, people developed nuanced attitudes toward hidden rules. Three aspects explain this. First, officials wield legalized harm power through institutional tools. They could legally crush dissenters without repercussions. This system allowed flexible manipulation.
During Guang Su's reign, a scholar protesting unfair taxes faced fabricated subversion charges with public support.
Officials framed his Gornong as illegal assembly threatening national security. Such grave accusations risked execution. The scholar was imprisoned near death.
With prohibitive costs, compliance became only option.
Second strategy: avoid rather than confront. While commoners might navigate simpler, bureaucratic games proved trickier. In Daogan era, Magistrate Lin followed bribery customs, but was unexpectedly reported by a conscientious official. Lin counterattacked with meticulously collected evidence, nearly triggering major scandal. Superiors ultimately paid huge compensation to silence him. Beneath absurdity lay logic. Superiors broke hidden rules by changing transgatching terms after accepting bribes. This amounts to outright robbery. Hidden rules can't be altered unless power dynamics significantly shift. Extorting after taking bribes might work on powerless commoners, but invites retaliation when dealing with fellow officials. Eventually, participation becomes mandatory in this twisted system. During Jia Qing reign, an official investigating disaster relief in Jiusu refused bribery. Colleagues poisoned him and staged suicide. Hai Rui's strict anti-corruption measures using Ming founders' laws drew widespread condemnation. Knowing the risks, some officials avoided direct confrontation through creative loopholes. Late Ming's Ministry of Personnel devised lottery system for official assignments. Rigorous evaluations preceded random location draws where fate decides became policy. This absurd system actually relieved pressure from corrupt patronage networks. Third aspect: even emperors became trapped in their own hidden rule webs.
Chongzhen Emperor inherited crumbling Ming dynasty. His tax hikes for military funding backfired through systemic corruption.
Officials embezzled new taxes, driving more rebels, requiring more troops, demanding more taxes.
This vicious cycle ultimately isolated Chongzhen against entire bureaucracy. At 33, when the Siking captured Beijing, he hanged himself.
Through three perspectives, the author reveals why hidden rules are so resilient. They deeply integrate with formal systems, trapping everyone regardless of willingness. This fusion thrives through bureaucrats wielding legitimized punitive power while controlling information flow.
Emperors and commoners remain mutually isolated. Even capable rulers bow to hidden rules, let alone powerless civilians completely vulnerable.
Ultimately, the very systems eroded by hidden rules become their protectors. The author's systematic analysis forms a profound framework throughout the book. Having addressed three questions, two crucial reading insights remain. First, informal systems are inherently bad. Language communicates rather than dictates. Written rules set common baselines. Creativity above them remains unrestricted. Good and evil coexist. Wu deliberately focused on history's darkest aspects, mirroring modern frustrations. Informal spaces often align with human nature, producing positive outcomes too. General Li Kuang's flexible command style achieved military success through empathy, unlike rigid doctrine followers. Second, hidden rules, core logic of profit maximization, warrants discussion itself. Wu's intentional determinism reduces all behavior to single motives, akin to Freud's sexual reductionism. In this book, he strongly endorses the economic rational actor assumption, portraying beneficiaries as calculated winners despite historical ridicule. This underlying despair now finds room for reconsideration. The 2017 Nobel Economics Prize went to behavioral economist Richard Thaler. His work integrating psychology with economics reveals most decisions aren't rationally calculated. This gives hope that society won't be wholly consumed by hidden rules, as Wu describes. Finally, let's examine the enduring relevance of Wu's hidden rules. This reminds me of The Art of Thick Black from early Republican China, which reinterpreted historical figures through moral cynicism. Upon publication, Thick Black became a cultural buzzword overnight. Li Zongwu arrogantly believed his legacy would endure like historical giants, needing no self-promotion. The book's recent resurgence proves its enduring social commentary value. The repeated success of works exposing social darkness suggests Hidden Rules won't be the last of its kind. For readers, recognizing hidden rules enables deeper understanding of societal mechanics. Considering how to improve society becomes the ultimate NACO. That concludes our exploration of this book. Keynotes are below the audio. See you tomorrow.